All right, I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Justice Committee. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes? I have a motion by Member Chung, a second by Member Martin. Any questions or comments or additions or corrections? All right, seeing none, we're going to vote on that. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, next item on the agenda is appearance by members of the public. It's my understanding that we have two members. First member is Zachary Getrich. Is he here? Does he speak up there? So
yes,
yep.
Just have him come down to the end. That'd be the easiest. Either one would work. Bottom right.
Sorry about that. All right, you're good to go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To the most honorable county board members, I'm here to make a rare announcement. Sheriff Sandage and I agree on something. IDOC needs to start accepting its prisoners, and these mental health places should be accepting their people. And if not, they should be paying the county what it costs to house people who belong in IDOC. I forgot, I'd ask him, he's not here, but I'm pretty sure they're only giving us $35 a day, and it costs us $75 a day to keep someone incarcerated. Now, COVID is becoming endemic. Even I finally got the Rona. I lasted longer than Pritzker, but somehow Biden beat me out by like a day or two, I don't know. And I've been pretty careful. The only reason I even still check on the numbers at the jails is because I know the sheriff won't tell you the truth. But really what I wanted to talk about was some of the comments that the sheriff made a couple months ago. The sheriff stated, and I'm paraphrasing, that he was the most transparent person that you've ever met, perhaps in all of human history. And yet, if he was here, I would ask Mr. Sheriff, isn't it true that he's prohibited the head of the mental health department from disclosing how often he uses solitary confinement? How can she give transparent answers about the mental health of the jail when she's apparently too afraid to answer one of the most important questions? How long are people locked up in their cells alone? If people are being confined for most of the day, it might affect their mental health. But we'd never know because of how transparent the sheriff is. Mr. Sheriff accused Member Chung of knowing nothing about mental health at the jail because she's never taken a tour of the jail. Well, I've never taken a tour of the jail either, but I was able to find out some interesting information. Here's an interview I did in June with a person in the jail named Matt.
Okay. Matt? About how they had forgotten to give you your medication for like 3 days, and apparently they actually had it the entire time, right? Like they had it stored somewhere?
Yes, exactly. Almost 4 days without my depression medicine that I get every day and I need.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because it's not my fault. The whole thing that is when this happened, I was on discipline in SEG. That's the time when I needed my medicine the most. Like, yeah. And they just kept spinning me like, well, it's coming from Pennsylvania or it'll be here tomorrow. And they just kept spinning.
In reality, they had it there the whole time, right in the jail building. By the way, disciplinary seg means 23 hours a day solitary confinement. $44 million and we can't get a person their meds that they have on site? Are you serious? What about you, Member Schaefer? You're a verified milliner. You got a hat that cares about incarcerated people not getting their meds for days on end? Mind you, Matt is incarcerated for a distribution charge, a victimless, nonviolent offense. There's a lot of people being incarcerated for months because of nonviolent offenses in our jail. And that means 18 to 23 hours a day solitary. Which is all being done at the discretion of the state's attorney, soon to be judge, congratulations, that is doing everything in his power to undermine the Safety Act. Now, I don't know what the sheriff might say in result to that testimony. He might say something about some Muslim guy or hooch or whatever. But unless he provides actual evidence, I wouldn't believe a word of it. That's the other thing that infuriates me, the entitlement. Police and prosecutors feel entitled to be believed. No evidence, no facts or logic. Just believe us without question. No one is entitled to just be believed. You have to provide facts and logic for your assertion. And in case anyone forgot, facts don't care about your feelings. Thank you very much.
All right, we have one more speaker here. Is it Candy? Candace Bird. She's not here. Candace Bird. All right, we'll move on. All right, next item on the agenda is item 4A1A, John Sandage, McLean County Sheriff. 4A1A, request approval of a resolution of the McLean County Board approving the adoption of the McLean County Multi-Jurisdictional All Hazards Mitigation Plan. A link was provided with our packet, and can I have a motion to approve? Motion by Member Martin, a second by Member Schaefer. Sheriff Sandage is not here, but he send someone? Yes. Kathy Beck is here to speak on Sheriff Sandage's behalf. Do you want to come up here? Well, this is where we ask the questions.
I know. Well, you said speak on his behalf, so.
All right. Does anybody have any questions? Do you have anything you'd like to add or say about it?
I just appreciate the support that the whole county has done, and we've all come together to make this plan, all of the jurisdictions in the county, so.
Member Chung?
Thank you. I'm just curious, how long of a process was this?
We started in January of '21.
And you met with all the different jurisdictions, all the different villages and all those?
We did. We invited them all. That doesn't mean they all came. But in the end, without looking at the document, I know 24, 25 communities participated in the actual plan and have projects submitted, so.
Wonderful. Well, thank you.
Member Went?
Yeah, I noticed that Unit 5 participated. 87 didn't participate, from what I read.
Again, I didn't bring it with me. It's too big.
You know, what I was curious about
But
is,
they were invited.
yeah, they were invited. Now,
City
does
of
that
Bloomington did.
disqualify them from any of those federal funds?
No, what it disqualifies them from is using the mitigation grant or as a way to get funding to help them with a project. Nothing to do with disaster response, because the county adopting that plan makes us eligible if the qualifications are met for federal financial assistance for disaster.
In other words, once we have to adopt this to qualify for this money, but then the people that didn't participate in the program still qualify because they're in the county. Is that correct?
They would still qualify for a disaster if everything else is met.
I was just curious about that because I noticed, a few places that didn't participate, and I thought if that was
It's
a
kind of one of
problem.
those throw it up in the air things. Not that we're throwing it up in the air, but the rules from FEMA are changing. They change all the time. I can't keep up with them, and I don't expect the communities to either. If it's just the community that has a disaster, then no, they wouldn't get assistance. But the county as a disaster, the county could get assistance.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, we're going to vote on item 4A1A. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Next item on the agenda is item 4A2A, monthly statistical report. Did you want to speak to that, or were you going to speak? Okay. If you have any questions on that, you can direct them to the sheriff or to the county administrator. Next item on the agenda is item 4B, Kathy Yoder, McLean County Coroner. She was unable to make it today, but she presented her monthly report. If you have any questions about that, you can direct those to the county administrator too, I assume. Next item on the agenda is item 4C, Don Knapp, McLean County State's Attorney. We have no items for action, but we do have item 4C2, caseload and forfeiture fund reports. Anything you'd like to say about that, Don?
Just that you're seeing what we anticipated with the new record on manual on record keeping, adding new case types. We knew that 2022's numbers were not going to track and make some of our historical data a little obsolete. That's proving out in these numbers. I think they are very similar to last year's numbers, if not actually increased a little bit in our filings. And as we've talked about, and the committee knows, and I've discussed with with the county administration, we still anticipate, or we still experience some hiring challenges given the job market, giving salaries elsewhere. We know that the county undergoes a salary study, and we're looking forward to seeing what that bears out. We have lost, we had been losing lawyers, and we lost another lawyer since we met last to the private bar. But we've also experienced more loss in support staff and paralegals and legal assistants than we had in the past. But we are committed to working with administration through the budget process to address our needs, and are hopeful and believe we can do that. So just keeping the committee up to date. That's it.
Does any member have any questions of Don Knapp? All right, seeing none. Anything else you want to say? All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is item 4D1A, Mike Donovan, Court Services Director. Item 4D1A, request approval of a grant agreement between the State of Illinois, Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority, and McLean County, number 192213. And can I have a motion to approve? I have a motion by Member Chung, a second by Member Martin. Do you have anything you want to say? Mr. Donovan's not here today. Is the county administrator want to say anything on that?
Just that this is a continuation grant that we've had for several years, and I believe the funding represents the commitment the county has and the probation department has in serving these high-risk clients.
All right. Any questions? All right, we're going to vote on item 4D1A. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we have the Court Services and Adult Juvenile Division Statistics report. If you have any questions on that, you can direct them to Mr. Donovan or the county administrator. Next item on the agenda is item 4E, Don Everhart, McLean County Circuit Clerk. We have no items for action. We do have reports here. We'll start with item 4E2A, monthly statistical reports. Don, do you want to speak on any of these reports in particular, or do you want to go through them in order? Or?
Oh, just a second here.
I'll let you get situated there. Huh?
Well, there's my usual monthly statistical reports, pages 74 through 89. Then we combine those with the quarterly reports, which are on page 90 through 109. And then we do have information per member Schaefer's request on information on these statistical reports. So I'm open to any questions, but nothing to offer from there.
Does any member have any questions? Anything you'd like to add or anything you want to say?
Well, the stats are add to the complexity of our work. Manual tracking most of these stats, as I shared with you before, because of the aging of Aegis and the absences of Aegis's abilities. So there's quite a bit of work for my staff to do these stat reports, especially for 2022 with the L through M and M reports, case activity and inactivity. And that's just a small portion of that record-keeping manual.
Any questions? I have a couple questions.
Sure.
I know from working with the circuit clerk's office that you're having challenges down there. I mean, do you still have staffing shortages, or would you say you have them? Or
I have 10 open positions right now.
10.
9 of those are due to not being competitive to wages and benefits.
Okay.
I've lost really good employees. I still have great employees.
Yeah. I mean, the Bar Association feels that throughout whenever we know you guys are doing what you can, but we all work together to try to make it work. So
I
it is
appreciate
what
that.
it is.
And my staff are assisting from each department as they're able to assist those that are with the largest burden with e-filing.
I mean, I just think it's important to point that out since I deal with staff over there all the time, and I know that there are shortages over there. And it is something that the circuit clerk is doing the best he can with, and he's actually doing a good job with what he's got going on over there, so.
Well, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you, John.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is item 4F, Ron Lewis, Public Defender. We have no items for action. We do have item 4F. 2A is caseload report. Ron, is there anything you'd like to say about that?
No, it's pretty standard. Like the state's attorney's office, we've had some shifting in the identification of the cases, but I think we're about the same as usual.
Does any member have any questions? All right, seeing none, anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is item 4G, Molly Evans, Children's Advocacy Center Director. We have 5 items here for action. If there's no objections from the committee, I would like to combine items 4G1A through 4G1D. Did I say that correctly? All right, good. Does anybody have any objection to that? Yes. Any objections? All right, seeing none, do you want me to read all these back in here? All right, I'm going to read them all back in. All right, item 4G1A, request approval of a violent crime victims assistant program grant agreement, grant 23-1065 CASA. Item 4G1B, request approval of a violent crime assistance program special project grant agreement, grant 23SP1065 CASA. Item 4G1C, request approval of a violent crime victims assistance program grant agreement, grant 23-1030 CAC. Item 4G1D, request approval of a violent crime victims assistance program special project grant agreement amendment, grant 23SP 1030 CAC. That was easy for me to say. Can I have a motion to approve? I have a motion by member Chung, a second by member Schaefer. Ms. Evans, would you like to address that?
So items 1A and 1C are both 2 continuation grants, one for the CAC, one for CASA. Each of them pay a portion of salary and fringe for a staff member from each program. This year, they came out with the special project grant, which both programs wrote for. The CASA program will be able to, they received a portion of what was requested to send staff to a national CASA conference in 2023. These Children's Advocacy Center also wrote for the special project grant, got a portion of what they requested, which will help us to print out and translate all of our brochures into Spanish at the Children's Advocacy Center, and then also some professional development for staff and our multidisciplinary team partners.
Any questions of any of the members? All right, seeing none, we will be voting on item 4G1A, B, C, and D. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, next item on the agenda is item 4G1E, request approval of a grant agreement between Illinois Association of Court-Appointed Special Advocates in County of McLean. And can I have a motion to approve? A motion by member Chung, a second by member Schaefer. Ms. Evans, would you like to address that?
Sure, this is the contract that I spoke about last month. This is also a continuation grant, but one that we received a increase in this year. This pays for 2 staff salary and fringe or a portion of those, and then also the addition of a part-time employee this year, so.
Any members? Any questions by any of the members? All right, seeing none, we'll be voting on item 4G1E. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we have one last item, item 4G2A, monthly statistics general report. Ms. Evans, would you like to address that?
I don't have anything further to add, but happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Any questions? All right, anything else? All right, thank you. I guess Will Scanlon's not here either. Do I need to go through that one or just skip it? Just got nothing.
Doesn't have any reports.
All right. Next item on the agenda is item 4I, Cassie Taylor, County Administrator. Anything you'd like to add here?
Thank you, Mr. Erickson. I have nothing to present and no items for information.
All right. Other business and communication. Anyone? Member Chung?
Thank you. I was going to ask this question of the sheriff, but maybe I was thinking that maybe, Ms. Taylor, you can probably answer it. Right before I got here, I got my health packet for Thursday, and I noticed on health that there is nobody reporting from jail medical. Is that going to be happening, or I don't know? I was going to wonder how that's going with the new contract staff over there. Anyway, how this is all going to work.
I'd be happy to answer.
you.
So in the future, we do expect that we will have a statistical report from jail medical. They are going through the transition of hiring the nurses. Even agency nursing programs have difficulty finding staff. And so we've been filling all of the positions and meeting all of our duties and requirements as are required in a correctional setting. But the addition of reporting statistics to our board was missed this first month, so we are addressing that.
Any other business and communication? All right, seeing none, the next thing on the item is item 6. Can we combine those, or can I do those, bills and transfers and expenses?
Well, do you have any transfers?
I don't think there are any.
I don't think so. So yes, you can go ahead and.
If I have can I do them both? I mean, the expenses too, objections, 6A and 6B.
So this is removed from the agenda. There was no
Okay.
issue there.
All right, so it's
anymore.
just item 6A.
Just 6A.
All right, item 6A, bills and transfers. I have a letter here from our county auditor saying that she has reviewed the bills and they are in compliance with McLean County Code and ordinances. And I have bills in the amount of $472,829.43. Can I have a motion to approve? Motion by member Chung, second by member Martin. Any comments or discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? That is it. We are adjourned. Thank you.